Riverview Elementary students plant a rainbow of trees on their campus. Fancy hats top off the entertainment at the Rochester Hotel's Derby Day party, and Durango residents sound off about pot stores downtown. I'm Ashley Dickson. These stories and more on this edition of Inside Durango News.
You're watching Inside Durango News, your source for information about Southwest Colorado. Brought to you by Oxford Asset Management, inspiring confidence, growing dreams. Oxford Asset Management.
The Durango Farmers Market opens for the 2014 growing season on Saturday, May 10th, but at least 2 vendors won't be returning because of a change in the state's cottage food law last year. During the 2013 legislative session, the Colorado legislature amended the 2012 Cottage Food Act to limit the types of food that can be prepared off-site by unlicensed vendors who sell their wares at venues like farmers markets. The amendment means that vendors like the mom who makes tamales for the farmers market must purchase a retail food license, and she needs all the equipment to keep the tamales cold enough or hot enough to prevent foodborne illness. Retail food licenses can cost from $115 to $255, depending on the type of method of preparation. The Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment clarified the law with new guidelines in June 2013. And when the farmers market shared the regulations with vendors this spring, a couple of vendors decided they wouldn't return, according to Farmers Market Coordinator Cody Reinheimer.
We did have 2 vendors drop out due to the health regulations, but all the rest will be at the market in compliance. So we will have ready-to-eat meals, beverages, a lot of old favorites, and some new vendors available at this year's market.
Leanne Gelon, Executive Director with the San Juan Basin Health Department, said the updated guidelines for the farmers market were issued to standardize safety measures statewide. She added that the local health department isn't interested in closing down vendors. Rather, she emphasized that Basin health inspectors want to educate and support vendors so that consumers are protected from foodborne illnesses. Jolon added that no cases of foodborne illnesses attributed to the farmers market have been reported. Vendors who sell uncut fruits and vegetables don't need a retail license, nor do vendors who sell commercially packaged foods that don't require temperature control. Those items include tea, dried pasta, jerky, pickles, canned salsas and sauces, dried seasonings, wine, and coffee. Just about anybody else who serves food prepared on or off-site are required to purchase a license and to comply with hand washing and safe temperature regulations. Farmers market policies require all vendors to comply with health department regulations, but Reinheimer says that the farmers market doesn't police vendors. That's up to the health department.
You know, each vendor at the market is their own business, and they are responsible to adhere to the health department's codes and regulations, and we trust that our vendors are doing that. And you know, after talking with all the vendors, I feel reassured that we will be having clean and safe, healthy food at this year's market.
So enjoy the farmers market this year. And because it opens on Mother's Day weekend, Reinheimer said the first 50 moms who drop by his booth will receive free flowers. The market's operating hours are 8 a.m. to noon every Saturday through September 27th at the First National Bank of Durango parking lot. Animas High School promotes project-based learning for its students, and earlier this month, 9th and 10th graders demonstrated what they'd learned this year during the school's annual final exhibition. Their projects ranged from original poetry and artwork to a Socratic seminar on the definition of happiness. One student created a topographic map of the Twin Buttes trail system using a compass and a GPS device.
So I'm showing off my topographic map. We hiked up the road here and we plotted an area in Twin Buttes using compasses and counting paces. So then we used GPS to plot different points on the map and used those points to determine where trees were and where the bike trail in the map section was.
Animas High School uses projects tailored to individual student interests to make learning more relevant. According to the website, Animas High School enrolls about 270 students. In another project-based learning program, Riverview Elementary students planted a rainbow of trees the last day of April at the playground entrance to the school. With a grant from the Colorado Tree Coalition, funding from the parent-teacher organization and local businesses, and support from the City of Durango Parks and Recreation Department and local landscaping contractors, students planted 9 species of evergreens and shade trees while learning about their important role to the environment.
We qualified for a grant from the Colorado Tree Coalition. They gave us $2,000, I believe. We got matching funds from our parent group, and even our principal tossed in some money. So we were able to put all these trees here. We have a real problem with heat in our building, so this should give us some shade, beautify the campus. This is a new building, and there wasn't much money left for the landscape in the campus. And we've also taught a lot of lessons about trees that these guys all took part in.
Plant species included bristlecone pine, elm, box elder, sugar maple, and several varieties of oak. Third grader Avery explained why.
Why we planted so many different varieties of trees is because the bark beetles are killing off lots of the trees since they are so similar. So we are planting different trees so that the bark beetles, they usually only like one tree, so might infect that one tree, but they won't like the other, so they'll leave them alone.
All the trees were organically grown and were fed nutrients using organic fertilizer. After the break, a Durango high school class attempts to make a difference for children with disabilities.
At Alpine Bank, we believe people make the difference. We're connecting and partnering with those in the community and creating and nurturing strong relationships. At Alpine Bank, we're sharing life every step of the way. Together, we're moving beyond banking. Alpine Bank. Experience the difference. Conveniently located in downtown Durango and Three Springs.
Welcome to the Irish Embassy Pub Durango. We import the majority of our products straight from the Emerald Isle, and let's get it right. You want your Guinness directly imported from Dublin. You want it stored at precisely the right temperature. And you want the pour to be a matter of taste and science. You want to pull with the patience and precision that it deserves. And if that wasn't authentic enough, you want to enjoy it in a pub where the shelves are stocked with 24 different kinds of Irish whiskey. Yes, you want the true Irish experience. Come visit us at the Irish Embassy Pub Durango.
It's time for rejuvenation with luxurious healing waters, breathtaking views, and lavish spa treatments at the Springs Resort and Spa in Pagosa Springs. Stay at the new EcoLux Hotel and enjoy 24-hour access to our 23 unique pools by the river. Indoors, relax in the hotel and enjoy therapeutic services at the spa. It's time for rejuvenation at the Springs Resort and Spa in Pagosa Springs.
You're watching Inside Durango News. I'm Ashley Dickson. They may have two left feet when it comes to dancing, but a dozen La Plata County volunteers are setting aside their stage fright to dance their way into the hearts of donors to raise funding for Community Connections. Community Connections board member Malia Durbano has organized Dancing with the Durango Stars fundraiser scheduled for 7 p.m. on Friday, May 16th at the Durango Arts Center. She's matched a dozen accomplished dancers with not-so-experienced partners to compete for the coveted Mirror Ball Trophy.
Well, I was watching Dancing with the Stars last season, and I love to dance. I'm a Zumba instructor, and I'm like, what better fundraiser could there be than showcasing Durango's dancers?
The dance teams have been practicing since early April for their performances.
Got people that we knew that could dance, and we matched them with some pretty well-known people in the community. And one other emphasis that we had was people that are involved somehow in the special needs community.
Tickets are only $25, and all proceeds benefit Community Connections. Community Connections provides residential support services for people with developmental disability. It serves more than 250 children and adults each year. Tickets may be purchased at the Durango Arts Center. For more information, visit the Community Connections website at communityconnectionsco.org. It was all about the hats and raising funds for the proposed Hospice at Mercy Regional Medical Center. Nearly 75 Kentucky Derby fans gathered in the Rochester Hotel Secret Garden to cheer for their favorite horse during the 140th running of the greatest 2 minutes in sports. California Chrome won the race, and so did the Mercy Hospice. The Kentucky Derby Party, hosted by the Young Professionals of Durango, donated their proceeds from the partygoers to support the fundraising campaign for the 12-bed hospice. Mercy Foundation Director Karen Midkiff says the party will help reach the $4 million goal.
So we're halfway through the campaign. It's $4.3 million. So about 2.3 is where we're at right now. We still have a couple of million to raise, and we'll be doing other things in this community to encourage people to give. We just kicked off what we're calling our next $1 million with 1,000 people giving $1,000 to join our $1 Million Club.
In great Kentucky Derby tradition, most of the women wore outlandish, oversized, and over-decorated hats. In fact, the winner of the hat contest had more flowers on it than a florist store, and a horse topped the crown. The Partygoers also was the first event of the summer in the Rochester Hotel's Secret Garden, a venue that has become popular for its concert series, said owner Kirk Komick.
This is the debut of our season here in the Secret Garden of the Rochester Hotel. We have summer concerts every Wednesday here in the Garden, and we have an incredible lineup this year, and the community will be receiving a postcard over the next week or so. We have Hello Dollface, Caitlin Cannon with the Cannon Dolls this year, a new addition with Bacon, and we always have Lisa Blue and Ralph Dinosaur, which is one of my favorites, and several Thursdays with Tim Sullivan and his band.
For more information about events in the Secret Garden, visit the Rochester Hotel's website at rochesterhotel.com. To donate to the Mercy Foundation's hospice campaign, visit their website at mhfnnd.org. A group of Durango High School students in Jennifer Johnson's English class learned how to lobby City Hall. They also learned that money talks. After reading John Steinbeck's classic novel Of Mice and Men, students in Johnson's class took on the task of lobbying for wheelchair-accessible playground equipment at Santa Rita Park. The students are part of the DHS Base Camp Learning Community, which focuses on practical, project-based programs. Sound familiar? The students started with research and assessed the Folsom Park playground for wheelchair accessibility. They found it wasn't. It was hard to roll a wheelchair across the grass to the equipment, and the wood chips used for a safety mat impeded its progress. In the next lesson for their foray into community engagement, students met with Parks and Recreation Director Kathy Metz and learned that the department had plans to rebuild the playground equipment at Santa Rita Park. Metz asked that the students come up with a formal proposal. The students conducted research into the Americans with Disability Act and the type of playground equipment available for children with disabilities. Professional mediator Tammy Graham then met with the class to help students build consensus for their top 3 recommendations.
We recommended wheelchair ramps to allow people with wheelchairs easy access to the play structure. And the ramps includes like getting up to the play structure and actually getting on the play structure. And a poured in place surface, so a flat, smooth surface, because people with wheelchairs and other disabilities can't really get around with like wood chips. Sound, sensory equipment, so that people with disabilities can, play with equipment that makes sound and those kind of things.
Students also recommended that the city install a wheelchair-friendly play surface like PebbleFlex, a low-grade ramp with 1 inch of rise for every 12 inches of distance, handrails at 48 inches, and ramp width at 36 inches. They presented their detailed proposal to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Unfortunately, their recommendations doubled the cost of the playground makeover from $100,000 to $200,000. Despite the setback, students said the project was worth the effort.
It felt good. It made me feel proud as a person to know that I'm actually making a change in the city and allowing people with disabilities to actually get around and do things just like a regular person.
Metz said the Parks and Recreation Department would seek grants to cover the added cost for wheelchair accommodation and recommended that the students do some fundraising to demonstrate community support for the project. There's your next project-based learning experience for Base Camp. After the break, one person's trash is another treasure, and we'll find out what Durangoans think about retail pot stores in downtown Durango.
Welcome to the Irish Embassy Pub Durango. We import the majority of our products straight from the Armagh, and let's get it right. You want your Guinness directly imported from Dublin. You want it stored at precisely the right temperature. And you want the pour to be a matter of taste and science. You want to pull with the patience and precision that it deserves. And if that wasn't authentic enough, you want to enjoy it in a pub where the shelves are stocked with 24 different kinds of Irish whiskey. Yes, you want the true Irish experience. Come visit us at the Irish Embassy Pub Durango.
X-Rock 105.
Next, Inside Durango news correspondent Sean Ferguson gets Durangoans to weigh in on the issue of retail pot stores downtown. Spill it, Sean.
Hey Durango, it's Sean Ferguson. We're downtown, finding out what everyone's saying about legal pot shops in Durango. This is IDTV's Spill It. Hey, can I get you to talk to me on camera briefly?
It's awesome.
It's awesome?
Yeah. I think that's great. I would like that.
You would like that?
Yeah.
I don't believe in them. I think it's the wrong thing to have.
What do you think about if there was a legal pot store right here in downtown Durango? What would you think of that?
It'd be awesome because it's a lot closer than Telluride.
That 2-hour drive is so inconvenient.
I think it affects our teenagers, any family group it affects.
All right, thank you.
I feel like it's not a good thing.
Not a good idea. All right, thanks for talking to us.
I think it'd be great for revenue and, people want it. I want it.
I don't think it'd be a bad idea. I'm extremely excited to see the medicines that come from it and all the hemp works and the clothes and see how it can benefit everybody else just besides getting high.
So as a visitor to Durango, if there was a legal pot shop in downtown, say right here on Main, would that negatively or positively affect your visit here to Durango?
For me personally, it would not affect it at all, I think. That is the 4th time I'm in Durango. I'm a fan of Durango and has the vibes anyway. And I'm not smoking and I would not consume it, so it would not affect my visit in any way.
So we're here at Smoking Peppers Durango, a local smoke shop located right here on Main Avenue. Let's go inside and see what they think of this issue.
I get people in my shop, 30 a day at least, that are asking me where they can get legal marijuana, and to tell them that it's at least a 2-hour drive away is really disappointing for them. And I think about all the money they could be spending at the retail pot shops.
What are your feelings about legal marijuana shops in Durango?
Outside the city limits, I think, would be better.
Well, we actually come from Chaffee County, where they do have marijuana shops, and I haven't really noticed anything significant, so I don't think it's had a huge impact either way.
People have worked real hard over the years to protect that image, and I think they want to continue to protect that image, and so I don't think that's a good idea downtown.
All right, Kathy is the local business owner of Animus Trading Company. What are your thoughts about it affecting business negatively in the downtown business district?
I think it'd bring more business downtown. I think people are coming downtown, and it is legal in Colorado, so people are coming here and looking for it.
Thanks, Kathy.
You're welcome.
Well, Durango, whether you're for or against legal pot shops in downtown or in the city limits, it'll definitely bring some tax revenue, and that can't be all bad. I'm Sean Ferguson. Ashley, back to you.
Both the City of Durango and the La Plata County Commissioners held public meetings on retail pot regulations earlier this week. We will report on those in our next edition of Inside Durango News. Today we have in our studio longtime Durango resident Jeff Deach. Many of you may know him as an accomplished lawyer, but he's also an actor and playwright, and he's putting on a new play in the next few weeks that I am excited about as a Durango local. So I think the title of this play says a lot.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Lies, Shame, and Self-Medication, a Durango Love Story.
Gosh, that doesn't
that cover it all?
It does. It covers it all. So I have to take it back a little bit. So a lot of people in town know you as a lawyer. How did this all come about? How did this idea transpire?
Oh, lawyering is one of my careers in Durango. Before that, I was a broadcast journalist. I was on radio and TV when Farmington had a little news program.
Yeah.
And I was the Durango reporter for that. So I started as a broadcaster, went to law school, came back, set up a practice, and along the way picked up theater. I'm not trained in theater, but self-taught, and it was so much fun that it finally occurred to me, all these stories over the course of 20 years, practicing law and being in radio and TV, all these stories are accumulating in my head. They have to come out. They have to come out. We've got to put them on the stage, and they work.
Nice.
They're funny. They're hilarious.
And so for a Durango person that's going to this play, is just so much going to click? Like you realize all these little Durangoisms, if you will?
Just to say that you will see people in there you recognize. Maybe not by name, but you've dealt with that lady before.
That type of lady.
Yeah. And I mean, folded into it are some characters from my childhood. I grew up on the East Coast, and it gives a little background. into my character when I portray myself here and there in the play. Okay, you have a little background by seeing those people, and then just in my law office, people came in. They had the most outrageous stories. I just had to sit and nod a lot and say, mm-hmm.
Let the material come to you.
You can't pass judgment. Just all the while you're thinking in your head, yeah, but you can't say anything. And so I just collected these, and now they're in this comedy. Not all of the comedy is screamingly light-hearted comedy, but it's some of it's dark.
Some people like the dark. That healthy mix of light and dark. I think especially for the Durango audience, that plays pretty well. So how is the play structured? Is it a kind of a series of different?
It is. It's 7 one-act plays.
Okay.
And they are tied together by a theme, and I'll talk about that in a second. The first one is the prologue. It will give the audience the playwright's goal, his mission, his what sets him off on this mission of writing this play. You get that idea, and then these sketches. So there's 4 sketches, intermission, then 3.
So very digestible for probably someone that's not used to going through a lot of theater performances. This would be kind of one that they can't miss.
Right. It's not complicated. The set is really minimal. We're not obsessing over costumes and set. It's writing and acting, and the actors are wonderful. We have a mix of new talent and accomplished performers. It's great.
So lots of Durango folks that if they've been in the theater scene, they'll recognize these people?
They'll recognize Mandy Gardner, Bob Tom, Lisa Zwissler, Judy Hook, who's been acting for 20 to 30 years. And then there's some new talent. I mean, I've got a guy who's been a civil engineer for the last 40 years, and I said, come on, you can do this.
If I can go from being a lawyer to a playwright, you
can do it. Yeah. And we can all be funny doing this.
Very nice. So for people that are interested in buying tickets, where's the best place for them to go to get information?
Okay, the play will be at the Henry Strader Theater, Strader Hotel. You can go to Henry Strader Theater with R-E at the end, .com to buy tickets. You can go to the Durango Welcome Center, 802 Main Avenue. You can buy them at the door.
Perfect.
Okay.
Because that's the Durango way, kind of last minute.
You can call me and I'll have some. So yeah.
Very nice. So has it been awesome just to see how it's all unfolded from your original vision to seeing it finally getting on the stage?
Oh, it's amazing because I was just sitting at the computer, having people create, a dialogue, right? And then I think, I don't know what this is, and I handed it around to friends who said, this is funny. So now they're doing it. Honestly, God, it's fun just to hear my words come out. So
nice.
I'm having a great time with this.
Well, this sounds like definitely something that people are going to be interested in. Even if you're not a theater goer, I would say this is one thing you definitely want to check out.
This is the one.
It's called Lies, Shame, and Self-Medication, a Durango love story. You can check out more online at the Henry Strader Theater website. We're going to take a quick break. Thanks, Jeff, for joining us, and we'll be back with your weekly updates.
Who knew that I would be helping people into a cycling lifestyle for 34 years? And during that 34 years, things have changed a lot.
Working on toys, basically. Toys for adults, toys for kids, things that make people happy, keep people healthy.
That's a real nice thing about this shop. Developing those relationships with our customers is really a plus here. I've made a lot of real good friends.
At Alpine Bank, we believe people make the difference. We're connecting and partnering with those in the community and creating and nurturing strong relationships. At Alpine Bank, we're sharing life every step of the way. Together, we're moving beyond banking. Alpine Bank. Experience the difference. Conveniently located in downtown Durango and 3 Springs.
It's time for rejuvenation with luxurious healing waters, breathtaking views, and lavish spa treatments at the Springs Resort and Spa in Pagosa Springs. Stay at the new EcoLux Hotel and enjoy 24-hour access to our 23 unique pools by the river. Indoors, relax in the hotel and enjoy therapeutic services at the spa. It's time for rejuvenation at the Springs Resort and Spa in Pagosa Springs.
You're watching Inside Durango News. I'm Ashley Dickson. Here are your weekly updates. Merely Players will present The Wizard of Oz on Friday and Saturday, May 9th and 10th at the Durango Arts Center. Friday's performance starts at 7 p.m. and on Saturday's performance will be at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. Tickets are $20 for the matinee and $24 for the evening performances. Purchase tickets at the Arts Center or online at what'shappeningdurango.com. The Metropolitan Opera's performance of Rossini's La Cenerentola will broadcast live in HD on the big screen in the Fort Lewis College Vallecito Room, beginning at 10:55 a.m. on Saturday, May 10th. Tickets are $21 to $23. Visit DurangoConcerts.com for ticket information. Durango dance students will perform their spring recital at 6:30 p.m. on Friday and Saturday, May 9th through 10th at the Community Concert Hall at Fort Lewis College. The recital theme is wild. Tickets are $14 and all audience members 5 years old and older. Buy tickets at DurangoConcert.com. The Southwest Bar Volunteer Association and Legal Aid will offer a free workshop on do-it-yourself divorces starting at 5:30 p.m. on Monday, May 12th at the La Plata County Courthouse. Paperwork is available through the Women's Resource Center for $5. Call 247-1242 for more information. Foxfire Farms in Ignacio will host its annual Taste of Spring event from 1 to 6 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday, May 17th and 18th. The family-oriented event features baby farm animals, live music, local artisans, and tours of the wine room and schoolhouse. The farm is located at 5513 County Road 321, southwest of Ignacio. You can call 563-4675 for more information. That's it for this week's Community Updates. The Community Calendar is brought to you by what'shappeningdurango.com. Post your free event today and join the one-stop, easy-to-use events calendar for Durango. I'm Ashley Dickson. Thanks for watching Inside Durango News, and remember, keep watching. You'll like what you see.
Tune in weekly to watch Inside Durango News, your source for information about what's going on in Southwest Colorado. Inside Durango News has been brought to you by Oxford Asset Management, inspiring confidence, growing dreams. Oxford Asset Management.